Hey, trumpet crew. Um, Today is, we're going to do, I think it's number 19. I can't remember what page 31. I'll make sure it's marked correctly in the description. But I'm going to give you a couple of fun ideas. So we'll start with just actually maybe two performances. Try this. So that was the whole thing down an octave. And then as written. So, it's pretty straightforward, but I wanted to give you a couple strategies, especially for working it down the octave, and also why. Um, the why of the octave is twofold. First, there's an obvious functional, like, imperative that we are able to play, like, those low Gs pretty good. They happen all over orchestral repertoire, especially if you play second trumpet with any regularity. Yeah, so like having a good, like, in tune, especially like C to G, all over music. You can't do that enough. You can't do that well enough, too. Yeah, okay, so that's like the most functional element of this. The other thing is like being able to resonate in that like low A G register is really indicative of your ability to resonate all over the trumpet. And in fact, my range, my approach to range is like deeply informed by my ability to play low like that. So don't ignore it. Really, really important. It's one of the first things like I will give to someone when they come to me, like asking about high notes. So we'll just check their low notes first, right? There obviously is more to playing high, I think, but the very first like question is like how resonant is your lip, how resonant is your air, and how can you improve that? And you can make some pretty marked improvements in your range up high by practicing low first. So that's like the like philosophical, I guess is the word, reason to practice low. And I'm going to give you a couple little progressions. Some of these are from I think the sax book, because I think he's the one that really put me on to doing this. I think it's 100 daily drills and fundamentals or something like that. Sax fundamentals book. Really great book. If you don't have it, not very expensive, worth every penny. So check it out. He marks a couple of things. I don't remember exactly what they say, but essentially like slower versions. So like. So you can try it slower like that. I don't know if that really is what helped me. What really helped me was actually not being too loose in the middle, not letting my aperture get too wide, just sort of keeping some focus in there, and then not over tonguing on the low notes. Like the air is so thick down there that you don't really need to tongue too hard. I guess we keep coming back to that, like we're over tonguing on the trumpet, and that's very, very true on the low register too. So you can practice things like this. something that really helped me was being aware of what was going on in my body right here. So right behind my tongue, really behind my tongue, some in my like upper chest, but making sure that like you're going back to this sigh on the trumpet. So really thick, like a sigh air, right? Um, and it even helps me to do that before I play the trumpet. So you can sort of try, you know. And I find like when I do that, I actually pretty much play the trumpet downstairs exactly the same as I do upstairs. It's really very, very similar. Maybe like a little bit of natural adjustment going on there, but nothing crazy. It's really very similar. Yeah, let's see. So when you're playing it up an octave, I think actually both octaves, same thing as like with the one before it. I think it's number 18. Just making sure that the 16ths are true to the relationship on the 8th so that we're not crushing those. So like, you know, that we're not doing that. Or something I see fairly often, just super be aware of this because you don't want to fall into this trap of accidentally misreading the rhythm and making it into triplets or something like that. So that wasn't quite as good, but if it helps you to think about like these slightly shorter notes, like the 16th notes, as being a tunnel that you're trying to fit more through, even though it's narrower than maybe like, you know, an eighth note or a half note or whatever, a longer note, right? So an analogy that like makes sense to me is like a camera aperture. So you know, you need to try and get more light in that shorter aperture for the note to lighten up, right? You need it. So you can try it like the old Barbara Butler trick, which is slurred legato tongue as written, and that can get you pretty crisp on that articulation and rhythm. So that's a really good strategy. One thing I see a lot of people do is sort of like shift a lot to go up and down on the trumpet. And you don't want to do that. You want to keep it flat. So kind of like this. Yeah. So um, that's it really. It's a pretty straightforward little etude. Really lovely. Again, very similar to the one in front of it and actually the one immediately behind it, but a good chance to sort of cross-reference that rhythm, cross-reference that key if you want, although I think it's in C and the first one was in F. But that's okay. They're similar enough. Just turn your tuner on. Do what the Arban book says. Do what my prescription about it says, and you'll be right as rain. It's a fun little etude, and then you can teach it too. So let me know what you think. Let me know how it goes. Stay in touch, and I'll see you next time.